In this video, I'm going to be talking about imposter syndrome, how it is ruining your confidence, and how you can fight back. You're watching this video because you want to know more about imposter syndrome. Well, you are in for a treat because I am going to tell you exactly what it is, how it starts, and how to combat it, all to get the life that you desire. Hi there, I'm Leanne, and for those of you who don't know what imposter syndrome is, here's a quick definition. It's basically the thoughts in your head telling you you are not good enough for what you actually desire. It's basically the thought that you are somehow a fraud and somebody else is going to find out that you are neither as accomplished or smart as everyone thinks you are. And for a lot of us, that's really crippling and can crush our confidence. But there's good news. We have a way to overcome it. Millions of people feel this way, and you're not alone in your struggle to overcome imposter syndrome. Stay tuned. Before we get much further, it would be a genius move if you subscribe and ring that little bell so that you will know every time I put new content out. I have been helping engineers, supply chain managers, project managers, and other technical folks exit chaos and frustration and enter into the life that they desire through my Grit and Grace program. At the end, people love themselves and their lives again. They have learned how to redraw those boundaries that constantly get crossed, and they learn to communicate with their coworkers, their family, and their friends. So what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is the belief that you are not as competent as you are perceived to be. It's in line with limiting beliefs that we talked about last week. Imposter syndrome can manifest itself in many different ways. Often it manifests itself as second-guessing your abilities and second-guessing your accomplishments. Imposter syndrome is feeling fraudulent and inadequate, despite the evidence to the contrary. Imposter syndrome is often characterized by thoughts of, I'm not good enough, or what if they find me out? Those thoughts, right there, that identifies imposter syndrome. So how does imposter syndrome develop? For some, it might be due to early life experiences, such as being called stupid or not good enough. Remember, our 7-year-old brain takes in all of the information around us, true or not, and it thinks that it's true. So as it's coagulating and becoming that adult brain, remember, a lot of stuff at 7 really carries you through into the adult world. We don't know any different, and our brain says, oh, you couldn't do that math at the board in 2nd grade. You're stupid. So it leads to thoughts like, I don't deserve this, I'm going to be found out. And it's a limiting belief of perfection. Remember, we talked about that last week. Perfectionism leads to procrastination. So you stop working for those things that you want because in your mind, you don't think you can get there. Whatever the cause, imposter syndrome is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, causing us to doubt our achievements and abilities. Imposter syndrome can also lead to social anxiety, depression, and social isolation. So tell me, have you struggled with imposter syndrome in your career, in your life, or in your relationships? I'd really like to know. Comment below and tell me all about it. What are some ways to combat imposter syndrome? Well, I'm glad you asked. First, it's important to recognize what imposter syndrome is: self-doubt. Second, reframe your thoughts and actually remind yourself of the accomplishments and the achievements you've had. If a thought sneaks in there saying, I'm not good enough, flip it on its head and say, look at all of these things that I've accomplished. Go away. Third, talk to someone that you trust, be it a coach or a mentor, to really understand and realize that you are not alone with imposter syndrome. You need to talk to somebody in order to gain perspective and really move past the imposter syndrome. Finally, practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Things are not going to change unless you consistently apply the methods over time. And then you will notice that the imposter syndrome fades away. Now, if you are excited about the possibility of combating imposter syndrome, I would love for you to comment below. I read all of these comments and I'm really excited about hearing your stories. If you found value in this video or you think that someone else might find value in it, I would be ever so grateful if you passed it along. It is a great honor to me if you do so. I would also like to offer a free 30-minute coaching session so that we can talk about imposter syndrome and ways that you can combat it. We can develop an individualized strategy for you, and that will help you move forward with your accomplishments and goals. Remember, if you are struggling with imposter syndrome, you are not alone. There are many people who have overcome imposter syndrome in order to have really fulfilling lives, and you can too. Remember to be gentle with yourself and take things one step at a time.